What up, y'all? Welcome to WCI FLY. This is World Controllers Inc., and we control our world. And up at WCI FLY, man, part of being fly at World Controllers Inc., man, is staying up to date on things and staying aware and staying informed on what's going on around you and being up on game about anything that pertains to your life. So you can't be fly and be unaware, man. That's ain't nothing fly about that at all. So in true fashion, man, with being fly and staying fly here at WCI, we talk of in this division, man. We talk about world news, we talk about hip hop, we talk about finance, we talk about health, we talk about streetwear, fashion, culture, um, everything. Like I say, all information that pertains to your life and help you be more in control of your world, man. So let's get into it, man. Today I ain't even playing this stream for real, for real. I was just on YouTube getting a little bit of knowledge myself, and I came across this video, man, and about how to build wealth with small income. And that's exactly what I'm in the middle of doing right now, because I got to invest in, World Controllers Inc. in this company and everything I got going. But man, it was so interesting. So many things in the video that was being said is something that I feel like I got so much to chime in on myself. So, I wanted to share with my followers and my watchers. We about sharing game and sharing information as always, because of course, that's how you control your world. So we want to make everybody that's rocking with us and watching us and following us world controllers, man, just like ourselves, man. As we become more control of our world, we hope you do the same, man. So, man, let's get into it, man. I was in the middle of this video, man, and I just thought it was so interesting. It had a lot to say about building wealth with small income. And I know a lot, it's relatable, too, for a lot of us, because a lot of us dealing with small income right now, going check to check and trying to build up out of that, this, that, and the third. So if y'all out there, I know y'all feel me. I'm going through the same thing. I'm here with you, Saint right with you, man. So let's get into it, man. Let's see what this video talk about, man.
I didn't learn this from a textbook. I learned it from getting it wrong first. There was a time when I thought the next raise would fix everything. It didn't. The money went up. The stress stayed exactly the same. And it wasn't until I stopped blaming my income and started examining my behavior that anything actually changed. And that's when Machiavelli started to make sense to me. Not as philosophy, but as survival. And if that idea makes you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is the signal that something real is happening. Because as Machiavelli understood, transformation always begins with a break from illusion. History proves this point over and over again. Take John D. Rockefeller in his early years. Before the oil empire, before the headlines, before the billions, he was just a young bookkeeper earning a modest wage. Nothing impressive, no advantage. But from his very first paycheck, he practiced one habit religiously. He paid himself first, even when money was tight, even when it felt almost irresponsible. He believed, long before the wealth arrived, that future Rockefeller was owed something by present Rockefeller. That habit didn't make him rich overnight, but it gave him something far more valuable early on: control. And Machiavelli would tell you that control always precedes power.
Look, and not to go on a tangent right there, but that's exactly why I was already watching this video, but that's why I wanted to get on here and share it with y'all too, because man, it's a lot in here that I can share myself about some of what it's saying. And that control, like you say, that control is that power for real. That control, when you got the ability to make that decisions for yourself about where you going or where you want to go, ain't nobody. That's the ultimate power in this world for real. And that's why I built World Controllers Inc. to ultimately get everybody informed and moving in that direction of being back in control of themselves.
They would tell you that control always precedes power. Most people do the opposite. They pay rent, they pay bills,
He said control precedes power. This is World Controllers Inc. We control our world.
Subscriptions they barely use. They pay for convenience, for comfort, for momentary relief. And then if there's anything left, they consider saving. That's not a financial system. That's surrender. It's living reactively instead of strategically. And Machiavelli despised reactive men. He wrote that fortune favors those who prepare, not those who hope. So let's flip the script. Strategy 1 is simple, but it's not easy. Pay yourself like you owe you money. Think about it. If you owed your landlord $300 and decided to wait until next month, what would happen? Threats, consequences, pressure. But when it comes to your future, you treat it like a suggestion instead of an obligation. That's backwards. Your future self is the most important creditor you will ever have. Ignore them long enough, and they will collect in ways far more painful than late fees. Here's where people get stuck. They hear this and say, "But I don't make enough to save." Machiavelli would call that an excuse dressed up as logic. Because the amount is not the point, the habit is. Imagine you make $2,500 a month. Before a single bill is paid, before food, before entertainment, you automatically transfer $50 into a separate account. Is $50 life-changing? No. But that's not what it's doing. And what it's really doing is training your nervous system to accept one new truth. Wealth building is non-negotiable. It's not something you do.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like, I done had a lot of jobs, bro. I'm not even gonna kid you. Like, you can, not that you ever meet my parents, but you can ask my parents. I done had so many jobs, boy. But, man, especially when I was down in Missouri, pretty much on my own, no family, no support system, I was for sure down there hustling and bustling, trying to figure out how to come up for real. And I had a nice little job at Guitar Center. I was making pretty much 1,000. Well, I was making 18 an hour. You know, but but we was getting paid every 2 weeks. And I'm not knowing nothing. I'm young, so this my first time really getting a little bit of cheese. But I'm like, man, you know, I ain't got no bills or nothing, but I get 1,000 every 2 weeks, and I'm still not really able to come up for real. And I think, like I said, I was so young, so that was my first time realizing, like, nah, like it ain't like, it's not like a certain amount you can make just as is that's just gonna take you out of your financial situation. It's like you really gotta brick by brick your way up out of there. And so I was interested. So it's interesting. I was clicking on this video wondering what it was gonna say about this strategy to build wealth on low income, but it's essentially saying what I was figuring out at the same time is that, like, bro, you gotta make your way out for real, for real. You gotta make your path of wealth before even the people you owe, because at the end of the day, and this is what I've been telling myself lately too, at the end of the day, you being up is gonna help whatever you going through. And this ain't a speech about prosperity or money is the answer to everything. It's just the simple fact that whether it's your next idea, whether it's home life, getting more comfortable so that you could think better, so that you could stress less at home. Either way you want to slice it, being a little bit more up is going to help you do that. It's going to free up your decision making to be able to do that. So no matter how you look at it, you really got to build and stack your way up out of this stress level, because we all kind of down on this stress level. And I ain't preaching or nothing like that, but we is. It's levels to it. So we all on this scrambling class, and to get up out of that is really, that's the only way, brick by brick, for real.
Do when conditions are perfect. It's something you do because conditions are imperfect. This is how quiet wealth actually begins. Not with a windfall, not with luck, with discipline so small it feels almost pointless. Warren Buffett understood this early in his life. As a teenager delivering newspapers, he saved obsessively, not because the money was large, but because the habit was sacred. He once said that the most important investment you can make is in yourself. What he didn't say out loud is that self-investment starts with self-respect. Paying yourself first is a declaration that future you matters more than present comfort.
But peep that though. He telling you that Warren Buffett, which is, go look Warren Buffett up if you don't know about him. But if you do know about him, Warren Buffett got to where he at by stacking his bread. And that's crazy to think about. Like I'm the number one. I gotta admit, I'm the number one. I'm notorious for ignoring the advice of, oh, save your money, because I'm like, look at all these factors, bro. Look at all the factors outside. I feel like people be ignorant of that when they just willy-nilly say, just save your money. But when you put it in perspective that that's how Warren Buffett became Warren Buffett, it's just like, huh? He did that through. But it goes to say, though, it ain't about, oh, just not spending this, not spending that. It's about when you build up enough, and everybody number different, but when you build up enough, you free yourself to make that one or two critical decisions to change everything for yourself. You know, changing our situation, our life really only come down to 2 or 3 good critical decisions. But you're going to need some money piled up in order to be able to even make those decisions. That's what the real trap of so-called matrix is really you being so tied up and having to pay this and having to work to owe that and you being so tied up in debt and being out of and trying to get out of debt that you don't have the freedom to make the decision that would turn your life around. You don't have the time to turn your life around. You don't have the resources to. That's the whole game, though. That's why so many of us in it. You feel me? So, as a world controller, you wanna be aware of this type of information, so where you could say, "Whoa, okay, so this game is designed and plotted to keep us and certain people to a certain level, but it's still a way you can get up out of that. You just gonna have to. It's just really all on you, and because it's all on you, because every other factor is dependent on you to keep paying them. You gotta take all that money back and keep most of it for yourself, and come up. Then you pay everybody. You pay everybody else after you pay yourself, and that's why I get why this video is saying what it's saying, because that's really the only way out.
People never make this shift. They live their entire lives saying, one day I'll save. One day I'll invest. One day I'll be disciplined. Machiavelli had no patience for one-day men. He believed power belonged to those who acted decisively, even with limited resources. Especially with limited resources. Because the small actions repeated under pressure forge character, and character is the foundation of wealth that lasts. Once you begin paying yourself first, something subtle but powerful happens. You stop seeing money as something that happens to you. You start seeing it as something you command. And that mindset quietly separates future winners from lifelong strugglers. You're no longer hoping circumstances improve. You're building a system that improves regardless of circumstances.
Okay.
Now, before we go any further, pause for a moment. If this part hit close to home, I want you to reflect. Not on how much you make, but on how you treat yourself financially. Drop a comment with 1 or 2 words that capture where you are right now. Starting, late, learning. Keep it simple. That small act reinforces the shift you're making. And if you want to go deeper into this way of thinking, quiet strategies, long-term power, and financial control the world never teaches, subscribe and join a growing community of people who are done playing loud games and ready to build real leverage in silence.
This in high school.
Because once you start paying yourself first, you'll begin to notice something else. The money you thought you didn't have.
Because I just got done telling y'all that it's a lot of us on this level trying to climb up, trying to get out. But when you step back and think, how did it get like that? Why is it like that? You feel me? It's a reason why every generation going through school they come out of school not knowing about this financial information, that's actually affecting your life every day, every second. How we not gonna know about what's affecting us the most? What we need to be empowered of the most? That's by design. I'm just pointing out how intentional that is. That ain't no accident.
Was leaking away in places you never questioned. And until you expose those leaks, no amount of discipline will save you. That's what we're uncovering next. Now that you've started paying yourself first, something interesting happens. You feel a little tighter. Not poorer, just more aware. And that's where most people panic. They think the system isn't working because suddenly money feels constrained. But Machiavelli would tell you this is the moment of truth, when pressure reveals reality, when illusion collapses, because what you're about to discover is not that you don't make enough money, but that your money has been quietly leaving without your permission. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever opened your banking app and thought, where did it all go? Not rhetorically.
Bruh, every week, every week I open up my bank account and be like, I could have sworn didn't I only made 4 purchases. $300. Nah, but look, on some real stuff, and I feel like every time I say this, my family be getting the feeling like I'm being conspiracy theory. But it's like, bro, you not paying attention, bro. Like, and most people not. Most people not really paying attention. It's a big enough crowd in society and outside to just get caught up in the loop and get caught up in everyday movements and not really see what's going on. But like I say, I done had a lot of jobs. I done made a lot of different types of money. I done made a lot of different kind of rates. I done got paid at different kind of rates. And I've gotten to see through all that how this system really works. And it's outside is designed to take your money from you, bro. And that's not me trying to be fearful. That's not me being conspiracy theorist, bro. You gotta think, bro. There's studies in the 50s about how to sell to the Negro. Look it up. I don't be making this stuff up, bro. It's real studies on this and you gotta think these are people and entities and institutions that had the resources to have businesses first before us on a large scale to the mass population. They had the connections and resources to have businesses on a mass scale, national level to feed to us first before we got there. So when you factor that in, they get the head of the mass businesses first. Boom. All right. Pairing that along with the historical studies on who they were studying and how to reach that demographic and how to sell to them, bro, it's information on psychology behind which colors attract your mind the most and what colors trigger you to pay for this and that the most. You know, it get real deep on how the studies they do in order to make somebody in society make a purchase. Just simply a purchase. It's a lot of deep psychology and research behind how they get somebody, a customer, to make a purchase. It's not just, do you like our product? Come get it. So with that being said, what I'm saying is when you walk outside, the minute you step outside, it is every intention to get a sale from you somehow, somewhere, by somebody. And it's not said other than the signs on the door and the buildings themselves being posted outside. But you're not realizing that as you walk through that or drive by that or see all that, and whatever your needs may be throughout the day, that is a pull you see in that. So where am I getting that, Saint? Where you getting that, Saint? Why are you saying all this? When you step outside, you getting pulled every which way, whether you realize it or not, to spend your dollar. And that's pressure. As soon as you step outside, people be saying, "Man, every time I step outside, I spend $100. I don't even know where." Yeah, it's not an accident, brother. And that's what he getting at. So that's where the extra subscriptions. That's where everything That's where we start losing money without knowing it, without realizing it. And that's the my long-winded way of explaining that. But my whole point is that's by design. It's designed to take as much money from you as they can. So once again, this where Nipsey come in. I feel Nip because in his journey and him teaching a principle with every phase of his journey, he's made his label all money in, no money out. But that was his philosophy. He didn't go into depth about everything I just said with psychology studies and research on how to sell to the Negro and businesses, intention, and every thing you seeing outside pulling your energy to get a sale from you. He didn't go through all of that, but it was still his response to the same problem, which was everything outside is asking for my dollar. So you know what we gonna do? This what Nipsey saying. We all money in, no money out. Period. I don't even need to know what the money need being asked to go out for. It's no. Is the money coming in? Yes. Is we letting it go out? No. Now, me personally, I I can't go as extreme as no money out now. I need some money out here and there now. But it be that balance. You gotta find where that deficit is, where you can let enough money out, still be okay by the next time you get more money. So it's each person got a different, like I said, a different number with that, but it is a balance though in finding that deficit for yourself. Cause in that balance, in that little bit of space where the money you have versus how much you spent until the next money come in, that's the wealth right there. That's your area for wealth right in there. And that's why ain't nobody gonna give you that. Ain't nobody gonna hand you that. Ain't nobody gonna come around the corner and tell you, hey, that's what it is right there. Unless you got me right here, of course. But that little space right there, that's your window. That's your window of freedom. And some people party with that. I'm guilty of it myself. We all trying to escape. And we all done use different avenues to escape, whether they was beneficial or not in the long run. But what I'm getting at is that's our little window for wealth right there. And Warren Buffett, like this video say, took that window and
genuinely confused. It feels like theft, like money evaporated. But money doesn't vanish. It escapes, quietly, invisibly, dollar by dollar. And until you track it, you are fighting an enemy you refuse to look at. Machiavelli warned that unseen threats are always the most dangerous. The same is true here. Strategy 2 is uncomfortable for a reason. Track every dollar like it owes you rent, because until you do, you are operating blind. Most people think they have a money problem. They don't. They have a clarity problem. Here's what that looks like in real life. It's Thursday night. You're tired. Long day. You tell yourself you'll cook tomorrow. You open DoorDash, $15 burrito, $4 service fee, $6 delivery, $3 tip, $30 gone. Friday comes, same thing. Sunday, maybe worse, because now you add a drink. You don't think about it. None of it feels like a decision. It feels like breathing. Then the statement hits at the end of the month. Well, $340 on delivery. You swore it was maybe $100. That gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend, that's where your wealth is quietly dying. And it's not just food. $6 coffees, $14 delivery fees, subscriptions you forgot existed, a quick Target run that turns into $60. None of it feels...
Nah, this crazy relevant because I recently got a little job a couple months back, but I've been there about 90 days now. But long story short, lately I've been trying to build up 1,000, and so I just been super tight on everything else. Just like I ain't went to no concert. They 42 Doug Babyface Ray had a all Detroit rapper concert a couple nights ago. I was supposed to go with my cousins. I ain't even go. I was supposed to go to Yay coming up in Chicago September. I ain't gonna go. Them seats about 700. You feel me? I wanted to see you, Yay, but I'm trying to get like you, man. I ain't gonna lie. But but yeah, man, I'm really trying to get somewhere right now financially, and um, that got me just looking at my bank account different than what's coming in it, what's coming out it, and it's funny that he say what he's saying right now because I just I got super tight over this DoorDash subscription and the Uber subscription. Now the Uber subscription, I ain't got no whip, so I get that. I kind of went back and forth in my head about that one because I'm like, okay, that might work out. The discount I get on the rides, woo, 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 whatever. But the DoorDash, you had to go. Soon as I seen you, I deleted you. I canceled the membership, man. And it be little sneaky stuff like that. I think that like I say, when you step outside or even when you don't, when you on your phone, it be a lot of services that if you're not really conscious of what your situation financially and you just think about the convenience, you will take it like, oh yeah, $9, all right, yeah. Cheaper orders, okay, cool. But that stuff add up. Say you go Netflix, say you go DoorDash, say you go Apple Music. Oh, that's my other one. But I can't. It'd be hard for me to let the Apple Music go. I gotta have my music, man. You see, but that's how they get it. So you gotta pick your poison and your balance with it. But you gotta know. You have to be aware. That's the main thing. That these subscriptions add up, bro. And they not going away. They every month. You feel me? And so you have to be aware and plan for that and or cancel that and be aware that that's not in your budget or we ain't got time for that right now. You feel me? I went without Apple Music for a little time, but I be in this factory all day. I can't deal with these people and not hear no music. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, man, so just to piggyback off what he's saying, man, like them subscriptions be that hidden killer, man. You feel me? On top of whatever you spending on your day to day, you feel me? Then you look up and that 15 from Amazon Prime come out and you done forgot you even subscribed to that. You ain't ordered nothing in 2 months, and that 15 still coming out of there. You feel me? It'd be stuff like that. It'd be like, man, I forgot about that. But so that just keep in mind stuff like that, man. That's the only way you can be back in control of yourself, man. Back in control of your world. But let's get it.
Was destructive in isolation. That's the trick. Power is rarely taken in one dramatic move. It's eroded through 1,000 small concessions.
Wow.
The wealthy have always understood this. During the rise of the Rothschild banking dynasty, meticulous accounting was non-negotiable.
Hey, y'all, but people, what he just said, he said power is rarely taken in one big takeover. Rarely, right? He say power is often taken in 1,000 small little increments. Like our payments we be paying, right? Essentially saying that's how we lose our power, our financial power, right? Cool. But where my mind go with it is, again, back to what I said earlier. Think about the people that had the resources to have mass national businesses first. And then think about what he just said. The people had resources and was able to start mass national businesses first, right? They know. Imagine them knowing that power is taken in small increments. So when you pair them two things together, the people get ahead on national businesses first, and we the people at the bottom, so we depend on them businesses, Walmart, whatever you want to call them, right? Any of them, just think of anyone, right? But they know that you can take you take power in small increments. So in that same way, it makes sense why all these businesses are the same businesses that advertise. They do market research on us, and then they pull and advertise and market all day, every day, to take small pieces of power from us, little by little. And when you look up, the people have power, but they give it away in pieces by the small purchases they make every day. And that's crazy to think about when you pair those two things together, man. That's just something that I just see right there. So it's like, that's something that we got to get better on as the people, man, and get more on top of, man. But let's get it.
Every franc was tracked, not because they were cheap, but because they were strategic. They knew exactly where their money went, which meant they knew exactly how to redirect it. Awareness creates leverage. Without it, you are negotiating with yourself from a position of weakness.
Awareness creates
You don't
leverage.
need fancy tools. Use an app. Use a spreadsheet. Use a notes app if that's all you have. The method doesn't matter. The act does. When you see your spending in black and white, something psychological shifts. You stop lying to yourself. You stop saying things like, I don't spend that much, or it's just this once. The numbers don't care about your excuses.
Nope.
They expose patterns, and patterns reveal identity. This is where discipline starts to form, not from motivation, but from discomfort.
Yeah, me.
Whether
That's
you're
me right
27 and bleeding money on apps you don't even open, or 45 and wondering where 2 decades of decent paychecks actually went, the realization is the same. You realize you're not actually broke. You're just careless in places you never questioned. And once you see it...
Dog, on God, I don't be broke, bro. I used to work at General Motors, bro, for 2.5 years, man. I got in there at 21. Yeah. GM, 21. Come on, man. Ask about Saint. But I look back one year and I had made 50,000. I said, where the 50? Where it go? Like we say, bro, that's how you take power away, by little pieces, 1,000 little increments. That's it. Take all that power away, man. We got to be conscious, man.
You can't unsee it.
I ain't making that money
That's
now,
power.
but I ain't gonna let it happen
Machiavelli
again.
believed that knowledge, once acquired, forces action. The man who sees clearly but refuses to act condemns himself.
Fact.
Most people never even see. Once you've tracked your spending, you move into strategy 3. Live like you're broke, even if you're not. This is where egos get bruised.
I'm getting there.
Because we live in a culture that rewards appearance over
I ain't gotta
reality.
impress nobody no more, but I
Flash
still be
over
doing
foundation,
too much for myself.
but here's the quiet truth that separates outcomes.
I gotta stop
Rich
that.
people often look poor. Poor people try desperately to look rich, and the middle class bleeds itself dry trying to maintain the illusion of success.
No, not me.
There's a reason this works. Living below your means creates margin.
Yep.
Margin creates options. Options.
Remember, I told you that window. He said living below your means creates margin. I told you between what you got, what you spending, and what you about to make next. You got that one window in there. And that's your window for wealth. Whatever you do with that is whatever you do with that. We all got a window for wealth. That's the crazy thing about this life of ours, and all of us dealing with financial struggles and everything. We all have a window for wealth. But it's about how we take it by the reins, how we take advantage of it. Or if we take advantage of it at all, and most of us don't. But I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to take advantage of it myself, man. That's why this is World Controllers Inc. and we control our world. Let's get it.
Create power. What Machiavelli would call this positioning. You don't reveal strength. You conserve it. You don't announce progress. You protect it. The person driving a 10-year-old car with no debt and consistent investments has more power than the person in a leased luxury vehicle living paycheck to paycheck.
Come on, man.
One is free. The other is trapped by optics.
Come on, man.
I've seen this play out repeatedly. A software engineer making a modest salary who lives like a student for 5 years, invests the difference, and quietly builds a 6-figure portfolio.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, someone making triple the income upgrades their lifestyle with every raise and ends up stressed, leveraged.
And it's so crazy saying this, man. That's why I had to do this, share live with y'all about this video while I'm watching it, man. Because he just hitting so many points in my life. I just got out of a situation. Before this job I'm at now, I'm making a little bit of, let's just do the math. I took a $5 pay cut on this new job I have from the job I left. The job I left, I was managing the car wash. The money was, man, long story short, they wasn't doing me right, so we had to get up out of there. Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, man, you tend to think that the amount of money you making is gonna be the answer. That's gonna be, well, I'm making this. Nope. It's about your lifestyle and your energy, and what is it costing you internally and externally to make that money, and how you living with it. So it's like, what I'm getting at is, I was making $5 more at the previous job, but it was more stressful. People was playing with me in ways that I myself was probably about to compromise it all, which is why I left anyway. Um, I was about to compromise it in worse ways than just leaving from there. But um, and how I was living to recover from the stress from the job was spending the money. So it's like, I wasn't getting nowhere. I was starting back to square one, and it was paying me bi-weekly. So it was taking me forever to get the paper in the first place. It was just too many non-beneficial factors, and you know how it is with a workplace and a terrible management. But that can't always be the excuse. But still. But like, what I'm getting at is, this new job I'm at is $5 less, of course, not as much money, but the work environment is way laid back. It is It's a little crap going on in there too, but not it don't have to affect me the same way it did at the last job. I had to be. It was coming to me, couldn't escape it. But you ain't got to be a part of the crap if you don't want to be. You can make your money, come in, and go home. Simple as that. And that's what I do. And I'm able to leave that place. I'm able to take the money from that I make from that place, and I'm in the middle of stacking it up right now, which I wasn't able to do it like that at that other place. Plus, it's weekly too, so I wasn't able to do that at my last place. So it's like, it be different factors that factor in. Don't When y'all see the money, don't just think the money itself gonna change everything, because it be how you play this game of life with it, and what is the game of life playing with you at the current moment? What's your factors you gotta juggle through? You feel me? In order to get to the bag. Like I say, we all got that window of wealth, but it's like, what factors are you around? What factors are you around that's gonna interfere with that, or what are you handling while having to get through that window of wealth? You feel me? So, the game is deeper than just a dollar, man.
And stuck.
That might be a song, deeper than a dollar.
Income didn't save them. Discipline did, or the lack of it destroyed them.
Okay.
This is stealth living. You intentionally make your life cheaper than it needs to be. Not because you enjoy deprivation, but because you enjoy leverage. You delay gratification while everyone else indulges publicly, and over time, the gap widens. Not dramatically, quietly. That's how real wealth moves. But discipline alone isn't the end game.
It's not.
Machiavelli never taught survival for survival's sake. He taught expansion, and once you've stopped the bleeding and created margin, you ask a smarter question. How do I expand without destroying my life? That's where strategy 4 enters. Quiet income. Here's the lie hustle culture sells. That you must grind yourself into exhaustion. That you need 3 jobs, no sleep, and constant pressure to move forward. That's not strategy. That's desperation. The goal is not to suffer more. The goal is to build systems that...
And I got a homie like that too, and I respect the grind. I'm a grinder myself. But I got homies that's just, that's all they know is the grind and just to get it. And I respect it, and that's our people. That's our black culture. When you come up in our conditions that we come through, man, you gotta know how to grind, and you gotta keep going. You gotta keep grinding. You feel me? That's all our people know. So I'm not condemning that, because if you don't grind, you don't shine regardless. You gotta do that first. But what I am critiquing is that that's all we know. We don't know how to turn the grind into a system to where we got aunties and uncles and grandmas working their bones to their 80, man. And if it's in my family, I know y'all got that in y'all family too. That go to tell you, our people don't know how to get up off the playing field. You feel me? And not even in no grandiose trillionaire, billionaire way. You ain't gotta be all that. It's just in I came up with a little system, a little process that don't require me, myself, to run it every day, period. Or I came up with a way to make my money work for me to where I don't have to work every day. You feel me? At some point, we got to build our resources up in order to get and stand up off of that, you feel me? That day, week by week need, day by day need. I'm in the middle of it right now, getting up out of it as we speak. So that's why I'm speaking on it. That's why I thought it was a relevant time to do this live, share some game with some of my folks and some of my controllers who want to control their world like I want to control my world. You feel me? So if you feel like me, let's keep watching.
That work without constant supervision, and income streams that don't require your soul. Quiet income looks boring. That's why it works. Freelance work done once a week. Digital products created once and sold repeatedly. Flipping undervalued items. Writing scripts anonymously. Selling templates.
Now,
nothing glamorous.
Not to keep pausing this video, but that's the exact reason I built World Controllers Inc. And I've been a rapper since day one. I've been a producer to help my rapping, and I went to college for engineering to perfect my whole sound. But like he's saying, all the different avenues you can create something and make an income quietly. I built World Controllers Inc. so that every avenue I choose to build an income for all is tied to one brand. And it's all that this is a league. I built this house so that all my endeavors can come back to this name and this brand, this house right here. You feel me? So I don't have to run all here, there, over there, here and there. Whatever I do, I can do it. I center myself and position myself to center all my activities that bring income back to my one self. You feel me? And so that's a way of me putting myself back in control of my entire life. Everything I do feeds me and benefits me in some type of way. And that's what I'm building World Controllers Inc. to be able to create that for others as well. We're going to go more into detail as time goes on about what that looks like and how do I expand that from myself onto you. But I most definitely believe in everybody getting in position and being able to hone their life by their own two hands. You feel me? Whether that be male, female, or children. I don't care who it is. I feel like everybody was born for that. That's a God-given right, you feel me, to be a controller of your world. So shout out to the company, shout out to the idea, man, and shout out to everybody in the future that will be a part of it, and everybody right now who may feel some type of resonation with it, man. So shout out to all y'all. Like and subscribe, man. Share the live, man. We gonna keep posting and keep shooting more content and keep posting more game, man. We always gonna try to help the world be better world controllers, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Love y'all.
Glamorous, nothing loud, but effective. I know someone who built a simple digital product years ago and still earns a few $100s a month from it. No updates, no promotion, just quiet compounding. Over a decade, that becomes real money. Here's the part most people miss. $200 a month invested consistently is not small. Over time, it becomes tens of thousands. And more importantly, it builds identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone dependent on a paycheck. You become someone with layers, backup, options. That's how power feels in real life. Not loud or stable. Before we move on, I want you to pause again. Reflect on where your money is leaking and where you could quietly create margin. Don't overthink it. Comment 1 or 2 words that describe what you're cutting or changing. Subscriptions, delivery, discipline. Lock it in publicly, because once you create margin and quiet income, a new danger appears, the temptation to touch it, to reward yourself early. And unless you learn how to protect your progress, you'll sabotage everything you just built. That's what we're dealing with next. Once you've built margin and started stacking a little extra income, a new enemy appears. Not poverty, not bad luck. You. This is where most people lose.
He say,
not because
he say, there's somebody that there's a new. Once you get that bag, a new enemy shows up. You. You show up to take your money from you. I believe him because I done showed up to take my money from me before a bag. I ain't had a bag yet, a real bag, and I keep taking my money from me. I ain't gonna lie, it be me, it be me, it be yep, it be him right here, it be him, and I be looking too. I be wondering where my money go, but I got this rap. I say I be talking to the wall like, where's all my money? I gave so much to the game, stop smiling because it's not funny, but I really be stealing all my money from myself, man. I be having to stop that. That's stupid. I don't know.
Because they didn't earn enough, but because they couldn't leave it alone.
Didn't leave it alone.
Machiavelli understood this weakness well. He wrote that men are often undone not by external forces, but by their inability to govern themselves once fortune begins to smile. The moment money starts to accumulate, temptation grows louder. That's why Strategy 5 exists. Make your money untouchable, because discipline is fragile. Systems are not. Most people think they need a financial advisor.
Nope.
What they actually need is friction, distance, barriers between impulse and action. If your savings are easy to reach, they are easy to destroy. One bored night, one emotional purchase, one rationalization that starts with, I deserve this, and suddenly months of progress disappear. Here's a simple move that has quietly made ordinary people wealthy. Open a second account at a completely different bank. No debit card, no app on your phone, no instant access. Every time you get paid, automate a small transfer. $25, $50, whatever you can sustain, then forget it exists. Out of sight becomes out of mind, and out of mind becomes still there a year from now. This is not theory. This is how people on small salaries accidentally save thousands. Not because they're smarter, because they remove temptation. We live in a dopamine economy.
I'm gonna open a business bank account for Work Controllers Inc. I don't know if I should be saying this to the world, but ain't nobody watching this. But I think that might be a method for me because I already had a business bank account for the world, and yeah, we kind of messed it up. But yeah, man, I agree with that. Definitely need a way for me to not. I can't even get to it. You feel me? I want it myself, and I can't get to it because I know me. I'm impulsive. I'm emotional. That's my number one reason not having no money for spending it emotionally. So, but yeah, man, that's a big deal what he's saying right there. I agree with that.
One tap and your money is gone. Machiavelli would never rely on self-control alone. He believed in structure, in setting the battlefield so victory becomes inevitable. No, you don't fight temptation, you design around it. Once your money is protected, the next shift is crucial. Strategy 6. Invest, even if it's $5 at a time. This is where people stall for years. They say they'll start when they have more money. But that day never comes. Because income doesn't create investors. Identity does. People who invest early don't wait for comfort. They act while it feels uncomfortable. Warren Buffett bought his first stock as a child, not because the amount mattered, but because ownership changed how he saw money. Ownership is the dividing line between the wealthy and the working class. Poor people spend.
Hold up, hold up, hold up. We all want to know how to get out from our level to the next level. All of us is on this level. We all start out at the bottom, And we all want to know how to get out the bottom. He just said ownership is the difference between. Here, don't listen to me. Listen to him. What did he say? Don't listen to me. Listen to him.
Ownership is the divide between the wealth. Ownership changed how he saw money.
Listen to me. Listen to him.
Ownership is the dividing line between the wealthy and the working class.
Ownership is the dividing line between the wealthy and the working class. Ownership is the dividing line between the wealthy and the working class. You want to know how to get out of the playing field? You got to own something. Yes, something of value. Whether you made it yourself or you bought it. But you can't get out of the working class without becoming an owner of value. Not just owning anything. Own something that has value. That's the secret. I'm highlighting that because that's the secret. And us in our poverty and not knowing so much information and killing and fighting each other to get out the bottom, that's the secret. The secret to everything we mugging each other, stressing out with each other, going to work every day for, arguing with family members. The secret and the key up out of all of that is owning something of value. This is World Controllers Inc. and we control our world.
Poor people spend, rich people own, and ownership compounds quietly while spending evaporates instantly. If you're waiting to invest because the amount feels too small, you're missing the point. If $5 invested consistently trains your brain for the day it's 500, it's rehearsal. Time in the market beats timing the market because time...
He say $5 a day trains you to invest 500. It's rehearsal. Now that brings to me up a biblical point. God saying in the Bible, if you will be faithful with small, you will be faithful with a lot. I know I probably don't have it exactly right, but I know y'all know what I'm talking about. If you're faithful with a little, you will be faithful with much. And in the same way, if you're not faithful with a little, you ain't going to be faithful with much. So he ain't going to trust you with a lot. You feel me? And just like he say, it ain't, you starting with that $5 investment, it ain't about the amount. It's rehearsal for that discipline and consistency, because you will have the same mindset when it comes to $500 when you do have the ability to invest $500. You feel me? So it's more so about training your mind rather than what the number is. So basically, don't trip about the number. Just start training yourself to be able to spread your money out rather than just working, taking money in, letting it go back out, and then waiting for the next income. You feel me? Use some of that to spread out for you to come back around to you. You feel me?
Rewires behavior, and behavior determines outcomes. Machiavelli taught that power grows through continuity, not bursts of effort. Now comes the mindset shift that changes everything. Wealth is not income. Wealth is ownership. When you own even a microscopic slice of a business, you stop trading time for money exclusively. You step into a different game. That's why the wealthy look calm. Their money works even when they don't. Broke people buy vibes. Wealthy people buy leverage.
Hey, that wealth get your bones back. That wealth get your juice back in your bones. You want to know why it ain't this? Understand this. Please understand. This is not money worship. I'm notorious for. But what I'm getting at about that wealth put that juice back in your bones, how you looking young again, is because just think about it. Think about grandma. Think about mama. Think about auntie. Think about them and they. See, I'm from Detroit. We got a lot of our relatives work in plants and factories and warehouses. And you ain't in the plant or factory, we don't know where you work, because almost everybody up here working a plant or some type of factory. So you got to think, we got women in our families working down to they bone gristle to they 80, 70, then retiring, because they can't retire at no 40, 50. They ain't got it like that. You feel me? So when you think about people who done found the way to build systems that had a money working for them, you see what I mean when I say that wealth put that juice back in your bones. Because you got to think, wealth ain't having $100 million. Wealth is having something of value or having enough value to where you don't have to trade your personal self to live and to have a life. That is wealth. You feel me? So that's why it's not a specific number, because it's whatever you did to not have to give up yourself in order to earn value for your life. You feel me? However you figured that out or figured that equation out. You feel me? That's what it's about, because like I say, we come from families who all our relatives work down to the bone gristle. You feel me? And I would love to see a world where our families can change that. You feel me? Especially in our community. I know everybody in my family has done that. So I would love to change that from myself and others. So yeah, man, that's what it's about, bro. It's just about an awareness thing. We not aware of this type of information. They don't teach us this.
Bridge. This leads directly into strategy 7. Use rich math, because poor math is emotional. Rich math is intentional. Poor math asks, can I afford the payment? Rich math asks, what does this cost me over time? One keeps you busy, the other makes you free. Look at how most people budget. Rent, car payment, food, entertainment. Whatever's left may be savings.
Yeah.
That's living at the edge of your income, hoping nothing goes wrong. Rich math flips the order. Needs, wealth building, then wants, if anything remains. This isn't restriction. It's prioritization. Machiavelli would call this ruling before indulging. The famous 50-30-20 rule is a starting point. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% wealth building, but the real power comes when you push further. 60% needs, 30% wealth, 10% wants. Now you're playing offense. This is how people with modest incomes outpace high earners drowning in lifestyle debt.
They get aggressive.
Not by sacrifice, by intention.
It's not about the money
here's
you
the
make,
brutal
man.
truth.
You really can get rich
Most
out
people
here
don't go broke
on
because
low
they
income,
don't
bro.
earn enough. They go broke because they believe they deserve.
That's what I meant to say. I meant to say this, y'all. I forgot to say this earlier. But I worked in General Motors with some millionaires. How do I know? They opened their accounts and they showed me. I didn't ask them. They showed me because they wanted me to believe them, that they were real millionaires. Because I'm like, why are you in here with me? They like, boy. I was like, okay. So, but it made sense though. Why would you stop working? These people own properties, but they was able to still fund their system. You feel me? Man, I feel like we've been duped, bro. I feel like we really been duped into thinking that we had to make 100 million, we had to make $1 million this, $1 million that. You really can come up just off your job. If you play your cards right and you really can come up off your job. This is crazy to me.
Of comfort now.
Worked with some millionaires.
Rich math
in
says
GM.
freedom
You hear
later
me?
tastes better.
They
And
showed me the
it does.
million.
Ask the teacher who retires quietly with 6 figures while influencers burn through millions chasing relevance. Same timeline, different math, but even rich math won't save you if you're still trapped in socially acceptable financial poison.
Right.
That's the next layer. Strategy 8. Kill the middle-class debt traps. This part stings because it's normalized.
Remember I told you. He said, kill the middle-class debt traps. I told you. There's so many businesses and companies out here with so many ways trying to get your money, bro. That's why Nipsey came up with the all money in, no money out. Because he knew, you can tell off that statement, he knew everything out there was trying to take from his power, his financial power, his financial ability to build something. And who needs that ability the most? Okay then. So, kill the debt traps. So there's apparently debt traps. I'm sorry, I'm talking about debt traps. Excuse me. I mean, but it is kind of like more debt. All right. Anyway, we getting too deep. But yeah, all these debt traps set up for the people that do got a little bit more cake than the, lower class. You feel me? It's another level for y'all. You feel me? We got something for you at every level to take your bread from you. We hear, listen, this is another thing. We hear rappers talk about what Drake say. He say, I pay enough something tax the governments, whatever they doing with the cash is very troubling. On the BB King freestyle with him and Lil Wayne, he said he was paying so much taxes to governments. Whatever they doing with that cash is very troubling because he paying them a lot of money. Now this ain't a point of me saying don't pay your taxes. I'm just letting you know that at every level you get, if you get more money, if you get richer, you still have to watch for these same things. Even more so, you getting more money ain't gonna stop you from having to watch for these things. You really you get the least of it at the bottom. That's why they say more money, more problems, because that is more things. Come on, man. This stuff get harder the higher you go. The more millions you get, the more you got to be protective of those millions. You feel me? Because there's more things trying to take them. And that's not just people mad at you that you're rich. No, there's real systems in place that regularly getting that from you. You feel me? On the regular. And you got to know how to navigate through that and protect and preserve your financial power. Once again, the same way you started on the bottom, needing to protect your financial power, is the same way you're going to have to protect your financial power at the top. You feel me? Every level you're going to have to control your world. Every level.
Buy now, pay later. Leased cars, minimum credit card payments, monthly subscriptions disguised as lifestyle. None of it looks dangerous. Right. That's why it works. And some of these traps are so normalized, they feel like identity.
Man.
That $700 truck payment you justify because...
Man, them lease cars, my mama trapped in that right now. I ain't spilling all family business. But man, I'm just saying that to say that that's a common thing. Yeah, we all got some family member, been working forever. They want to bless themselves. And who don't want to ride nice? Who don't want to bless themselves? And that's kind of that's what the system is kind of built on. It's like, you worked hard, didn't you? You feel me? Let us sell you this. You feel me? But you're not seeing the financial power you losing in that. I think that that's a good way to sum up everything. It's like, how much financial power does this allow you to have or keep? And how much financial power is this taken away from you? And I think once we start looking at things in that aspect, myself included, I think that that's going to put us all more in control of our world for real, man. Always think about your financial power, man. Me, myself, too.
I need it for work. But you commute 40 minutes on a highway, and the truck bed's been empty since you bought it. The 60-inch TV you financed at 0% APR. Not because you needed it, but because 0% made it feel free. It wasn't free. It trained you to believe that financing things you can't buy outright is normal. That's not a purchase. That's a rehearsal for a lifetime of debt. Here's something the financial industry doesn't want you to think about. They don't make money when you're wealthy. They make money when you're in debt and making payments. Okay. Every low monthly payment is an invitation to stay dependent. Exactly. Every credit limit increase is not a reward. It's a longer leash. They call it financial access. But Machiavelli would call it what it is. A system designed to keep you useful, not free. Debt doesn't just cost money, it costs options. If your lifestyle is financed, your freedom is forfeited. Machiavelli warned against dependence above all else. Debt creates dependence on income, on employers, on systems that don't care about you. If it doesn't pay you back, it's a liability. Period. You don't need to look rich. You need to be free. The person driving an old car with no payments and consistent investments is winning, even if no one applauds them, especially because no one applauds them. Yeah. Broke looks rich. Rich looks boring, and boring compounds. Before we move forward, pause again. Think about one debt or expense that doesn't serve you. Just one. Comment a single word that represents what you're cutting or questioning. Lease. Cards. Payments. This isn't for us. It's for you. Because once debt is minimized and ownership begins, a final shift happens. You stop needing validation. You disappear. And in that invisibility, real...
Bro, as I'm on this journey right now, building my wealth from small income, bro, I feel it already. I ain't even there yet, but I'm getting close to being over that hump of small window wealth for myself. You know, we all got a different number of what that is, but I'm close to mine. Praise God. In Jesus' name. But as I'm getting there, bro, everything in life that made me feel smaller than everybody else, or made me, whether it was girls or feeling unpopular or not having the latest this or latest that, me having the freedom and the ability to move around this world how I want because of my financial discipline, I don't even have it yet. Just me being close to that lifestyle, it's already making me not care about none of that stuff, bro. Like, already. So when he say that, talk about the empowerment it brings you, I already know it's facts because I don't even have it yet. I already feel empowered. I already have it yet, and I don't have it yet, and I already feel better than, you know, the things I've been through. You feel me? So I would love to, you know, continue to walk into that, and for everybody else to experience that same feeling as well, including my family. You feel me? Including your family and you.
Wealth accelerates. That's what we're stepping into next. Now, when you cut the debt traps and started owning instead of consuming, something strange happens. You feel lighter, quieter, less reactive. That's not accidental. That's what happens when power stops leaking. Machiavelli wrote that the strongest position is the one least noticed, not hidden out of fear, but concealed out of strategy. This is where stealth wealth begins. Not as a gimmick, as a shield. Most people think wealth announces itself. Cars, clothes, vacations, noise. But those are signals, not substance. Signals attract attention. Attention attracts expectation. Expectation attracts pressure. And pressure forces decisions you wouldn't otherwise make. The wealthy learned this lesson a long time ago. That's why real money moves quietly. Picture a millionaire.
Hey, as far as his point on real money moving quietly, just to piggyback off his point on real money moving quietly, I recently watched another video, like maybe 2 months ago, about rich black families in Detroit. I watched one on Chicago too, but mainly Detroit, what I'm talking about. Man, these people got billions, man, hundreds of billions, man. Families, black families. You don't know about them. They don't want you to know about them. Even when in the video, when they was because each family they talked about, they reported on what they estimate net worth was. Over half of the list said that they had refused to report their earnings. They don't want you to even know what they got, bro. So when this man say real money move quietly, we don't even know about the black billionaire families that's around. You feel me? That blew my mind. I didn't know we was having it. So yeah, move quiet, man. Yo, folks don't, you feel me? It's a lot of people that don't. It's a lot of people without knowledge, man, and you got to be careful when you do have knowledge. You know, it's a lot of people in the dark. They feel like a lot of things is against them on purpose, and I feel like that sometimes too. But I'm smart enough to know that it's information that's gonna help me get up out of there. You feel me? The truth shall set you free. So I believe that. So you know, I'm smart enough to go that route with it, rather than to blame another human being and really take it all on them, unless they're physically actively doing something to interfere with my ability to escape my situation. Then it's like, okay, you in my way. But if not for that, I'm trying to get the information to get out. You feel me? It's always gonna be the information that gets you out of there. And that's why we had this division of WCI FLY, to spread information, to give you the helpful information that's gonna help you control your world. Because you can't control your world without the right knowledge. So, you know, real money move quiet though. Keep that.
You probably imagine spectacle. Now picture the real version. An unremarkable car, cheap clothes, no social media, no flex. You pass them in a grocery store and never look twice. Meanwhile, their money compounds invisibly. That's not an accident. That's design.
Hey, sorry to keep stopping this, but listen, he just said another thing. I told you this video. That's why I had to do a live stream on this video, because he keeps saying stuff that just keep bringing up different stuff in my life I done seen. Like, man, that is true. He say it'll be a guy walking past you in the grocery store, don't look like nothing. Got it. I'm talking about having. That reminds me, right? I was an intern. I went to college for engineering, but we had to, in order to graduate, we had to pick a city to intern in. Fast forward, I picked New York. Crazy, but God got us through there. Praise God. All right, so I got over to New York. I'm interning at the studio called Premier Studios. Now, every morning I'm in there, it's this old man. I'm talking about dusty New Balances, old dad jeans, old dad shoes, T-shirt wrinkle, bald spot, look about 63. He in there every morning. He walk through every morning, say what up, and just go sit in one of the studios and get on his laptop. Now, after month 3 of him doing this, I start to ask somebody, yo, who is this? Who is he? Like, who is this guy? And they like, oh, that's the owner. He's worth like $36 million. I said, huh? Dad shoes is worth $36 million? Right here, wrinkle shirt. Him. Dad shoes. Wrinkle shirt. 63 years old. Bald spot. They say, they said a lot about him. But long story short, they spoke on how he was real tight with his money. And they was like, that's how he got to that. He don't just be frivolously. He don't listen. He spend when it's absolutely necessary to spend. And I was like, wow. So that you really never know. And like, once again, I told y'all I worked with some millionaires in General Motors. They showed me on their phone. They showed me the millions. You feel me? So shout out to the quiet money getters, man. I plan to do the same. Me and all my world controllers gonna do the same. You feel me? We ain't gotta let y'all
Stealth wealth is the art of being financially powerful without advertising it to the world.
They want to take it anyway.
Why does this matter? Because when nobody expects you to spend, you don't feel the urge to prove anything. No lifestyle creep, no competitive spending, no subtle pressure to keep up. You are no longer performing. You are positioning. Machiavelli would say this is how you avoid unnecessary enemies. Attention creates friction. Invisibility preserves momentum. History rewards this approach.
We're gonna build the company.
Many old money families stayed wealthy precisely because they avoided spectacle.
You gotta worry about
They
us.
lived modestly while assets grew. And they understood that visibility invites interference. Quiet wealth protects peace, decision-making, and optionality. And optionality is real power. The ability to say no, the ability to walk away, the ability to choose. This is the mindset shift. Rich is not a look. It's a strategy. The real flex isn't luxury. It's not panicking over a $300 emergency. It's owning your time. It's not needing permission to take a day off. It's sleeping well because your life isn't financed. Stealth wealth buys silence, and silence is expensive for a reason. And nobody will clap for you. Your co-workers won't notice. Your neighbors won't be impressed. Your old friends might even think you're falling behind. Let them.
Fell off that bag,
because the moment you need applause to keep going, you've already lost. The man who builds in silence answers to no one.
Saint, you fell off.
That's not loneliness. That's sovereignty. But there's one final weapon that locks everything in. Strategy 10. Automate everything, then forget about it. This is where most systems either survive or die. Because motivation fades, discipline weakens, life happens. Machiavelli never trusted human consistency. He trusted structure. He trusted systems that function even when men fail. Automation removes emotion from the equation. Paycheck splits, savings transfers, investments, bills, all handled without asking your opinion, because you will not always feel disciplined, you will not always feel focused, but automation doesn't care how you feel, it executes regardless. This is how quiet wealth compounds while you're distracted living your life. You're not trying to become a full-time money manager. You're trying to become financially free without obsessing. Now, the less you think about money, the more consistently it grows. That's the paradox. Systems outperform willpower every time. Think about it. You won't manually save $50 every week forever, but if it's automated, you won't miss it. Years pass, balances grow, and one day you look back and realize something profound. You didn't hustle your way out of scarcity. You designed your way out. This is the final truth. You don't need to earn more to become wealthy. You need to behave differently with what you already have. Quiet wealth isn't built with hype. It's built with habits, systems, patience, and restraint while everyone else is rushing. Day by day, not paycheck by paycheck. If your salary feels small, good. That means your strategy matters more. Discipline is powerful. Automation is unstoppable. Build the system once, let it run. But let time do the heavy lifting. Let silence protect your progress. If this series shifted how you think about money even slightly, I want you to do one.
Yeah, man. Like I ain't gonna lie. That was good. That was good game. I mean, I ain't no hater. Go check out the Unseen Game. That's the page I seen it on. You can see their page right here. You can subscribe if y'all want. But definitely, check them out if y'all want. But man, that was some a lot of interesting things said in there, and that's what made me want to bring it up, man. Is we getting to that point, man. Praise God. Your boy Saint, the founder of World Controllers Inc., is getting to a point where he's able to create some more ability for himself. And of course, we gonna invest more in the World Controllers Inc., and y'all gonna see more from it as a result. But with that, I thought it was pretty cool to share and kind of together had this experience with y'all of watching that video and seeing what it was saying and busting down what it was saying. Because a lot of it, man, is what I'm going through right now as I'm trying to build up this wealth for myself and for the company and for my family, and for some of my friends too, and strangers as well. You feel me? Anybody else that want to become a world controller. But man, I just thought that was very interesting, man. Y'all let me know in the comments, man, what y'all think about it, man. We all on this level. I know we all dealing with small income, relatively, and I feel like it's very extremely possible to build wealth out of that small income that we getting. It's just about the movements you make and knowing what you got and what you dealing with, and what you up against. So once you acknowledge them three things, I feel like that wealth is able to be had, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all feel how I feel? Y'all feel like it's possible with where you at right now? Or do you feel like, man, I'm in too deep and too much stuff, man? I don't see no way out right now. You feel me? Let me know in the comments what y'all feel like, man. But I absolutely do believe it, man. And I would like to give y'all motivation and send y'all some motivation to go and get that wealth for yourself, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to yourselves, man. This is World Controllers Inc. We control our world. I appreciate everybody for tapping in with the live, man. Make sure y'all like the live, subscribe to our page. We're going to keep doing new content, different content. Like I said in WCI FLY, we discuss world news, hip-hop, culture, fashion, streetwear, sports. You feel me? We're going to talk about sports, too. We definitely going to talk about fashion, too. I like kicks and getting fly as well. That's why I named it Fly as well. It's deeper layers to getting fly and being fly. But like I said at the beginning, man, you can't be fly. Ain't nothing fly about being unaware, man. So it gotta start with knowledge, man. You gotta be fly by having the right information, man. You gotta be aware and up on game of what's going on around you. Ain't nothing fly about being no fool, man. You feel me? So that's the first step to being fly, is knowing what's going on. You feel me? So after that, then you come and bang 'em with that drip. You feel me? Let them know you ain't no lame. Yeah. But anyway, man, shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate all the viewers, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting us. We're going to keep putting out more content, man. My name is StMarcus. This is World Controllers Inc., and we control our world, man. Shout out to y'all.